Hey everyone, I didn't think I'd be doing a second Browns Thoughts in a day, but we have some breaking news in the world of the NFL. Just after Devontae Adams gets traded to the New York Jets, which was not a surprise, it had been rumored, Amari Cooper gets traded by the Cleveland Browns to the Buffalo Bills. The Cleveland Browns, in return, get a third-round pick in next year's draft and a seventh-round pick in 2026. They also give back a 2025 sixth-round pick, which is from Detroit. So really what this nets out is they get a third-round pick for a wide receiver who was not going to stay with them past this season. So all in all, a couple things jump out to me. First of all, just about this deal, this is a good deal for the Cleveland Browns. Getting a third-round pick for a receiver who was going to be a free agent after this season and was not going to come back. The bridge was already burnt with the Brandon Ayuk rumors, and there's some rumors that, he did not get along with Deshaun Watson. We may find out. We may never find out about that. In terms of the season, I've been saying this for about a month. The season's been over, and this is the first really big indication that the flag of surrender, waving the white flag from the Cleveland Browns, has happened. Like the season's done. They're 1-5. This is not getting any better. You trade your best wide receiver. Granted, he leads the NFL in drops. He was not having a good season. It clearly wasn't working out. So get what you can. He'll go to Buffalo. I wish Amari Cooper all the best. He was fantastic for this organization through a really tough stretch with all the Deshaun Watson rumors coming around and then all the QB turmoil last year. And he has an amazing season, breaks the single game receiving record against the Texans in that regular season game, which was amazing. He was a great Cleveland Brown. He really was. And it's really a shame that we're going to remember the first 6 games of this season with all the drops and all the mistakes that happened. He's a really great receiver, a really great professional, and it's just the dysfunction of this organization can just, fester to some people, and even the best wide receivers like an Amari Cooper. So all the best to Amari Cooper. The season is effectively over. I would expect more moves to happen. I'm not going to go as far as to say that a Myles Garrett trade may be on the table or a Denzel Ward trade might be on the table, but I would anticipate that some other names are going to get moved because the Browns have got to start loading up on draft picks because they clearly know the tank is on. They don't have a quarterback. So stretching this further, a couple things in regards to Deshaun Watson, because that's been a popular topic here. Deshaun Watson's the reason this happened. He's the reason this happened. Don't make any mistake about it. Amari Cooper was brought in to work with a star quarterback, which was supposed to be Deshaun Watson. That did not work out. For whatever reason, these guys did not click together. Amari Cooper's best numbers as a Cleveland Brown happened when Joe Flacco was the quarterback for the last 6 games of last season. That's just the reality of the situation. What other evidence do you need? It has not worked. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but Amari Cooper statistically broke records as a Cleveland Browns wide receiver when Joe Flacco was the quarterback. So Deshaun Watson is the biggest reason why this isn't going to work out, or why this ultimately didn't work out, and he's in Buffalo now with a better quarterback in Josh Allen. And I think you're going to see almost immediately that Buffalo's offense is going to get better. Amari Cooper's numbers are going to get better. He's going to be more interested because he was clearly disinterested from the trade rumors and also the Deshaun Watson bullshit that had been plaguing this organization for the last 2 years. So Deshaun Watson is the number one culprit in this whole thing. And all of you Deshaun truthers who want to say, well, the offensive line, well, Amari Cooper dropped balls. It's like, if you're a better quarterback and you're able to deliver more than 200 yards passing in a game, Amari Cooper's not disgruntled. And he's not happy. And he's happy. And this can all go on. Because, like I said, last year, we're 6 games into this season after a calendar year ago, this guy was breaking records in a single game against the Houston Texans. What changed? The quarterback. What more evidence do you need? This is Deshaun Watson's fault, and this complete teardown of this organization is because the organization bet on him. He didn't live up to the hype. The owner sucks, And this is going to be a complete teardown of this organization. Kevin Stefanski, I talked about it in my earlier Browns thoughts. Kevin Stefanski is going to probably lose his job. Andrew Berry is probably going to lose his job. Everybody, this is going to be a disaster. This is a quintessential disaster Brown season, and some of the best people that have been in this organization are going to lose their jobs over Deshaun Watson. And Amari Cooper is now out the door. He was going to walk, so I will give credit to the organization for jumping on this immediately. They know the season's over. They're in full-blown tank mode. They get a third-round pick, so that's a win. In regards to what the rest of the season looks like in terms of, stacking up draft picks, you have got to try out at least Jameis Winston. And if not Jameis Winston, try out Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I know he didn't show us much, but there were glimpses. And it's better than whatever Deshaun Watson is doing for you. And at this point, what do you have to lose? Really, you're 1-5. The season is done. So at least see if the fifth-round rookie from a couple years ago on your team from UCLA, and I saw him, he is a tough kid. He really played his ass off before he got hurt last season, which ultimately led to Joe Flacco coming in. See what you have with DTR, man. What do you have to lose at this point? If you're not going to put Jameis Winston in there, then at least, give DTR a crack at this thing. Because at that point, you're going to see, hey, do we need to pick a quarterback in the draft in 2025? Or do we have our guy on the roster? And if we get the number one pick, do we take Travis Hunter? Because really what this comes down to, as much as I don't like him, the Browns might be looking at Shedeur Sanders. And listen, I may not like the kid. I may think he's arrogant. Hell, he may not even want to come to Cleveland. But at this point, I don't care who you are. If you can throw the football better than Deshaun Watson and you're young and talented and a rookie in this draft, I will take you at this point. So it may be a three-ring circus if Shedeur Sanders is the next quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. But before you even get there, you have got to see what you have on your roster to see if this is going to be something that you need to stay in-house and have Dorian Thompson-Robinson be the future of your team, or whether it's Jameis Winston, or if you need to go pick a Shedeur Sanders, Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck, Jalen Milroe, whoever you want to, because the reality of the situation is that it's one of the two things. It's either going to be DTR, Jameis Winston, or a rookie. I do not foresee a scenario where Deshaun Watson is the quarterback or is the starter on this team. The Browns are going to have to keep him, and the reality is they may cut him after June 1 and just have to eat $80 million in dead cap money because this ain't working. It's not working. It's going to get a bunch of people fired. It's already gotten your best wide receiver, maybe one of the best wide receivers the Browns have seen in a really long time, traded away, even though you were probably going to lose him to free agency in the first place. But still, you're trading him away 6 games into the season. So it's a good trade for the Browns, but what it means long-term really could be catastrophic because this feels like a complete and utter teardown and an utter debacle in Cleveland with a lot of talented people losing their jobs because a quarterback who is a creep and is, I could come up with a bunch of different adjectives that I don't want to say on this show because you guys already know how I feel, but because Deshaun Watson couldn't perform, this is the worst case scenario that could have ever possibly happened to this organization who not even a calendar year ago was in a playoff game. That's how bad this thing has gotten. So that's your Browns thoughts for today. We'll see how I feel about doing something ahead of the game against Cincinnati. Maybe we get something later in this week where Kevin Stefanski changes his mind and basically says, fuck you, Jimmy Haslam. I don't care what you're telling me. We're starting Jameis Winston or we're starting DTR. I just don't know what more you guys need to see. This ain't working. So, all right. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.